You see, you don't want it to look like that. You want it to look like a round ka. All right. Now, next, like I said, is the ka, the final form of the ka. Now, this looks a lot like this da up here. But if you pay attention to what I said earlier about the imaginary line, the imaginary box, the square box, you see how it comes past. It comes past that square box, right? The imaginary square box. So, for example, delete this. Okay. So, for example, all right, the ka, the final ka would be written like this. Zoom out a little bit. Be written like this. It'll come down, all right? So it'll come down past the imaginary box, you know. And I mean, I don't really write my kas. I don't really write them like this. I don't really write them like that. I just write it, like I said, keep it simple with the round edges. You know what I'm saying? Just bring it down, because like I said, on here they kind of write it more sharper, you know. But I mean, it's more easy to recognize if you just keep it like that. Okay. So for example, if you write the word Barak, all right, which means to bless, in the Assyrian, it's gonna look like this. You got the ba, you got the ra, and then you got the ka. You can see how it comes down past that imaginary box. You see? And so that's how you would write that. That's how you would write Barak. It wouldn't be Barak. You see? It wouldn't be like that. It would be Barak with a final ka. Okay? Now, if you're saying Barak Yah, which means bless me, then you would say Barak Yah with the Yah at the end. Why? Because the ka is not the last letter. It's the second to last letter. Only when it's the last letter are you going to write it like this. Okay? All right, so that's that one. Next, we have the la. Okay? Now, the la is actually the only letter, let me go back to it. It's actually the only letter that starts above the imaginary box. If you look at all the other letters, they all start at the same, except this la has this nice long thing at the top, all right, which makes it super easy to tell the difference between the other letters. So how I write the la, I just do it like this. Just kind of do it like that. You know what I'm saying? Nothing super fancy, nothing super hard. You just kind of do it again. Okay. All right, come from the top. Come from the top. Go into the box and come in the middle. Just like that. All right. So that's how I write the la. All right, you can see it's very easy to tell. Boom. Okay. Now that's the la. Next is the ma, which also has two versions. All right, you got the regular ma, and then you got the final form of the ma, which looks a lot like the sa. All right, the Assyrian sa. It looks a lot like that, but we're gonna go over the difference. All right, right now. So the ma, when I write it, this is how I write the ma right here. Just come from the bottom left, come over, and keep it round, and then boom. It's just sharp left, and then you can add the little hitch on the side, right? Like I said, it's not identical or picture perfect, but it gets the job done, and that's the point. When you're writing it down in pencil, it's not going to be, you know, it's not going to be picture perfect, right? So that's the ma. I'm gonna do it one more time, and that's why it's good to practice. Like when you were in kindergarten, all right, you wrote your ABCs, you know, 10, 20 times on the line, okay, before, you went to the next letter. So you do that because the scriptures say, 1 Peter chapter 2, all right, desire the sincere milk of the word as newborn babes. You know what I'm saying? And so this is part of the desiring that sincere milk because, for the most part, brothers didn't really know how to, read Hebrew or let alone write Hebrew, you know what I'm saying, before they came into the truth. And so now that we're coming in, we're supposed to desire these things, desire to learn these things. All right. So that's the regular ma right there. If it's at the beginning of the word or the middle of the word, as long as it's not the last letter, that's how you would write it. All right. Next, we got the final form. All right. Which, like I said, final form, I just keep it simple. Boom. You know what I'm saying? Keep it simple. You can add the little widget right there too if you want. Right, because they both got the little deal on the left. But that's you basically close it. You basically close that little gap right there. You just close the gap. And when you do that, you can easily tell that that's a ma, final form. All right. So for example, let's do a quick example real quick. Okay, so you got a moth. Okay, you would say and then you would do the regular ma, a ma, and then we haven't done this one yet, but tha. All right, so that's a moth. Okay, all right, a moth. Now, if you were to say a thumb, okay, because a moth is truth. Okay, if you were to say a thumb, all right, which is you in a plural sense, Barak a thumb, bless you, all right, you would say tha, and then the final ma. Okay, just connect it like that. Okay, that's how you would write that in the Assyrian text, a thumb. All right, which is different from the original, from the regular ma. All right, so that's the point on that. All right, next, show you brothers on the screen here. The next letter is the na, like I said, which also has two forms. It has the regular form to the right, and to the left is the final form, which also drops down below the imaginary line. Okay, so first we're going to do the regular na. All right, the regular na. So you just start from the top right here, just like a wa. Only difference is you kind of come out a little bit, just like that. Okay, you see? So that's the regular na. So for example, we got Barak Nawa. Let's write that out real quick. Barak Nawa, bless us. Okay. All right, you would do, let's see if I can fit it, All right, so we got ba, which kind of looks like a na too. Let me do that over. Okay, so we got ba, Barak, Barak, matter of fact, Barak, and then you got the na, which comes out just a little bit, and then the wa. You see? So the na and the wa look similar, and also the ba and the na can look similar. If you make these lines too long up top here and at the bottom, you can easily mistake it. You can easily mistake the na for the ba if you make the lines too long. But like I said, that's another reason for that little ledge at the end. All right, because the na does not have that ledge at the end. Okay, so that's the regular na. Okay, and then next is the final na, which if you're looking at the imaginary box, you just bring it past that box, bring it past the imaginary box. All right, and with this one, that looks a lot like the final na here. Looks a lot like the wa. Okay, it looks a lot like the wa, but we got to remember all of these letters are kept in an imaginary square box, except the final forms. You can see right there the final form of the ka, and same thing with this one. Final form na is below that imaginary line. If you imagine the invisible box around these letters, you'll see that the na goes below that, and that's how you tell the difference between the final na and the regular wa. Okay, because so you just got to practice that. Practice the different practice, just practice, man. Study to show thyself approved. All right. All right, so next is sa. All right, here's the sa. Now you can keep it simple with the sa. You can just kind of start with a little loop over here, just bring it all the way around, basically like a circle. And you can just keep that cliff on the left hand. Like I said, you start right there. All right, that's the sa. Okay, pretty simple. All right, next is an I. All right, so I is a little tricky. So you just kind of bring it, start from the top left, bring it to close to the bottom, and you finish it off with a swoop from the right to left. All right, you can see right here, it looks a little bit more prettier. Right here, it looks like it goes past the imaginary line. I don't write it past the imaginary line. You know what I'm saying? I don't, because it doesn't really go back. It doesn't really go past there. But I mean, even if you wanted to write it, like more like this, it still wouldn't be wrong. But most of the time, you're gonna see it stay in that box type form. That was ugly. In that box type form like that. Okay, but you brothers get the point. That's why you practice the letters until you kind of get something that you really like. Okay, that's a good one right there to me. Okay, so that's the point right there. That's the I right there. All right, next is the pa. All right, so the pa has two forms. All right, so we're gonna go over both of those. Okay, so pa, same deal. Start from the middle, come out to the left, come around, and you just complete it like that. Okay, that's the pa. Okay, and so that stays in the box. And then when you're doing the final pa, it's the same thing. You zoom out a little bit. Same thing, except that little piece at the bottom, it doesn't come swoop around to the left. It comes down past the box. You see that? It comes down past the imaginary box. You can see right here, that bottom part, it just comes down, right? It goes limp. Say, okay? So that's that. That's the final pa. So if we were writing a lop, okay, which is ox in the Hebrew, we do Salakia. You do the la, and then the final pa, like that. Okay, a lop. So that's that on the pa. And next we have tazah. Okay, tazah also has a final form. You can see to the left here, that's the final form, and in the middle is the regular tazah. Okay. All right, so the tazah is a little tricky as well. Kind of got to practice that one.